green here.
Okay, we should be okay.
Captions,
Yes, we have captions,
is they recording?
we're recording.
Okay. We just have to check the hamsters and the wheels.
The same thing, it'll work.
Should have had a musical interlude or something, I know.
Okay, we should get going.
Okay, I make a motion to open the meeting. Is there a second, please?
I second.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Hi.
Trustee Lanfair? Aye. Trustee.
Run on the trustees.
Yeah. You're forward.
That's right.
See
Hi.
what happens, I move a little, take a little thing, it's just everybody off.
Stay where you belong. Mayor Plummer,
Aye.
motion passes.
Okay, the meeting is open. Is there any board member who has a conflict of interest or anything to disclose regarding the meeting this evening, the agenda?
I do not.
I do. I do not. I was going to go Lily.
I do not.
Okay, I would like to disclose that I had a brief meeting with the applicant for Carmela's Wine Bar because he had come in to put in the application, just met him and welcomed him, so that I will disclose. Okay, let us all stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. And why don't we have Trustee Coe lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation.
Okay, before we start in, we haven't, we open for public comment. Is anybody wishing to make a comment? Or anybody online? Okay. Oh, open meetings, the compliance. I know, I almost forgot. The clerk actually gives us guidelines for open meetings, just how to comply when you're speaking. So,
Just real quick, if you're in the audience, please come to the front or stay in your seat, but give your name and address and if applicable, the law. If you're on Zoom, please raise your hand if you wish to speak, and we did have 2 hands raised. Please give your name and address again, unless applicable to law. Do not put any comments in the chat. I do not read chat comments. I will read Q&A to the board. So if you want me to ask the question, put it in the Q&A. If you want to speak to the board direct, raise your hand. Outside of that, I ask we treat each other with respect and let's move on.
okay. The first up, you'll see there's a couple of,
I'm sorry, do you want to let the 2 that?
oh, I'm sorry, they're still, I didn't
Yeah,
like that. I
there's a-
apologize.
No,
Sure.
I'm sorry. Okay. Mr. Lawrence, you're allowed to speak.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you
Hello.
hear?
Hello. Yeah.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
I'm just curious as to the status of the refuse district that the village is considering.
The refuse district has already been established. It's in place.
How do I go about changing my garbage service then? I'm currently with SAREC. Is there anything I need to do?
Well, good news. We awarded the contract to SAREC. So that'll be a very easy transition for you. What we can do, if you would put your contact information, you know, for the clerk, we can circle back with you and we're going to be sending out a letter to all the residents with the, you know, how to make that transition, when to do it, how it all works. So every resident will be getting additional information, you know.
Okay, do you know when that will occur?
Yeah, it will start when you receive your tax bill. our fiscal year ends on May 31st. And then our tax bills go out roughly when, Dorothea, would you say roughly?
They're usually,
Yeah.
they should arrive by June first.
Yeah, it should be
Depending
June.
when June first falls, but we do send it out prior to that to make sure everybody has them by June first.
Yeah, so that's when the transition would happen. You would see it reflected as just an annual charge on your tax bill.
Oh, okay. Are you able to say what that value is, what the price will be?
Yeah, we're gonna send you all the information. It's $349.14. Why did I remember that?
That's very good. Yes, that
Yeah.
is the number. I didn't remember, but we will be sending out a mailing in the next couple of weeks and you will see the mailing again from SAREC. So I would
Yeah.
keep your eyes open for that and all the necessary information will be in there. And if there's any further questions, please give the office a call.
Yeah, call directly into Village Hall. We'll be happy to, give you far greater detail. Okay,
Mr. Lawrence, what is your address, please?
I live at 15 Washington Avenue in the village.
Great.
well, great. Well, thank you so much
Thank you guys for doing all the labor. I appreciate it.
for having. And is there
No.
another person?
I'm done. Thank you.
I think we are good.
Okay, all right. First up, there's two meeting items that are deferred only because our attorney is out of town and he creates the language for our proclamations. But I do want to say that we lost a long time village resident, Bill McBride, who served for many, many years on the Historic Preservation Board. So many of you knew him in this community, and they lived and raised their children in the gingerbread house on Monroe Avenue, just as you head out of the village. So the family's in our thoughts and prayers, and I'd like to just have a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, next up, is our attorney online?
Jeff is online.
Okay, next up, our attorney is out of town, so he's zooming in, Jeff Turner, but we want to wish him a happy birthday today.
Happy birthday, Jeff.
So, okay, with that out of the way, let's see. The Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad Scenic Byway is our friends here from Visit Rochester.
Yes. Miss.
Hi, this is Nikita Jankowski. Visit Rochester asked me to attend this. I'm helping with the steering committee for the Underground Railroad Consortium of New York to get the resolutions passed. So the Harriet Tubman Underground Byway, if you're not familiar with this, there's one already established in the state of Maryland. And it's proven to be very successful and very lucrative to the communities that have the routes along the byway. And so now other states like New York State, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, they're all looking to create a byway very similar to Maryland's. And as you may know, that Harriet Tubman spent 54 years of her free life in upstate New York and Auburn. And so this byway honors her as well as the other freedom seekers throughout the state that made their way to Canada through this state, as well as the abolitionists that helped them. And so this will just focus on highlighting a lot of the highlighting their stories and the scenic routes along the way. And as the byway, it would start in New York City and make its way up the Hudson to Albany, to Utica, along the Thruway Trail, Erie Canal Trail, to Syracuse, Rochester, Auburn, Buffalo, and ending in Niagara Falls. And right now we're getting more resolutions passed by the day with City of Buffalo, Erie County. We get just every day we're getting some more and more interest, a lot of questions because it's very new. But the whole point of this is to help generate another tourism product to the state. And this would help to, promote the different attractions in the areas along the route, and something different, because a lot of times what we find is, especially now that we're not going to be seeing a lot of traffic from Canada, we're going to be looking at a lot of traffic coming from the New York City area. And with that, I say that just because New York City generates a lot of traffic. We have, regular people that come up to visit the upstate area, but we also have a lot of traffic coming up through upstate New York, following along the Hudson, and then going to Niagara Falls. And in between, going along this trail gives them something new and different to experience. And so that's what we're seeing too now is people are looking for a new tourism product to reach out to, overnight stays, things like that. So and that's what we're trying to do is highlight these stories, these new and unique experiences.
You know, it sounds great, and you may be aware too that our village here has a history of the Underground Railroad right here in
Right.
the village. So I'm excited by this. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to tell the stories all along the way, all along the highways there. Any questions? Justin, I know you had some questions as well.
Yeah, I did. I just wanted to say thank you very much for presenting this, and I think it sounds like a great idea. I had, so I've got a copy of the resolution in front of me, which overall looks very good and reasonable to me. Except there's one clause that I did want to understand better. And I'm not sure, do we have a copy of exactly which routes the railway would affect? Okay, so the clause that I'm looking for more details on then would read, be it further resolved that the Village of Pittsford confirms that they will not approve any request for new off-premise outdoor advertising signs along the designated Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad, New York Scenic Byway route. And I guess without a map in front of me, you know, we have signs, we commonly have signs in the village advertising a number of especially nonprofit athletic activities, other area initiatives that we would like to support. And this seems to perhaps conflict with some of the policies that we have for advertising other, especially nonprofit community initiatives. So I just wondered if we could clarify where the, you know, where this restriction would take place. And we also have an issue right now where our code enforcement officer is currently not in the office. And he hasn't been able to help us clarify this. So if anybody could shed light on this to help me understand, I would appreciate it.
So yes, I can definitely share with this. Did anyone receive a link of the live Google map?
No, we did not
We
receive that.
didn't get the link.
Okay, is there any way that I can email it to you right now?
Sure.
Can you email it to Dorothy? Yeah.
If you send it to villageclerk@villageofpittsford.com, I will try to forward that on to the board right now.
Okay,
What I wasn't clear whether this was a very specific pathway through your municipality, or whether it pertained to the entire municipality regarding the signage.
Yeah.
That's what I'm clear for. Okay.
Yeah, so I think even if we do receive the map, it might be good to have administrative clarification from our code enforcement officer and possibly our attorney. Otherwise, without that clause, I think the rest of the resolution is fine. So another
Yes.
path that we could choose is to adopt the resolution without that clause and review that one that may or may not be consistent with the rest of our zoning code and signage policies at a later date.
Is there a time element?
Yeah, give us the time frame that you're looking for this, please.
they're looking to have this resolved by the end of March, but we know that's a tight deadline. So there are a lot of municipalities that are moving it to April.
So that would be a possibility, in you know, just if we're looking for more information,
Mhm.
if we could, you know, receive that information, and then review it, and we would put it right back on the agenda.
Right, so I just sent over the map, and what you can do is when you look at the map, there's a purple line that that purple line is the actual route. And you can zoom in closer to it to see exactly where it crosses through Pittsford.
I just received it.
Did you? Okay. Sorry, we're looking at a map.
Sure.
I haven't received it.
And the
I have
question
a
about-
question.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. We can blow it up, see where it is for us. It's shows up, we don't really see it in our village.
It's basically Monroe to State. So it's
Is
Monroe to
it?
State.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so the
Blow it
line,
up.
just for everybody's benefit here, goes from Monroe Avenue, just cuts right through to State to
To the main
the
intersection.
main intersection,
Mhm.
straight through. So the challenge, and Justin, this speaks to your comment, the resolution is quite specific in not allowing any off-premise outdoor advertising signs, and because it's a main state thoroughfare, right, and corridor, how would that work? So I guess my follow-up question to that is, this resolution in its broader context, I agree, and similarly, and think I'd like to support it, but to what degree does it have to be this exact resolution, or can we work with Jeff to modify it in a way that we may be more comfortable, and does that still serve your purpose?
So modifying that one restriction. So I was told by the New York State Department of Transportation
Hey,
that,
I just tried to talk and I don't think anybody can hear me.
Oh, we can
Now we
hear
have
you.
it.
Hello.
Oh, you can. All right. Never mind. Bye. My question was the same as Dave's. What happens if we adopt this without that one paragraph?
so the New York, that would not be accepted by the New York State Department of Transportation. They are very supportive of this initiative. And but that's one thing that they said that they cannot get around. They say it's for on-premise advertising. On-premise advertising will be allowed. No new off-premise advertising signs will be allowed, and current billboards are grandfathered in, and there are no exceptions to this. The resolutions must stipulate this acceptance, and that's straight from New York State Department of Transportation.
I don't think
Yeah.
we have off premises advertising.
Can you give us some examples? Because I'm thinking if you're talking about billboards, we don't have those anyway. So,
Yeah.
and these are state roads. This is a state road. So, can you give us some examples? I think that's maybe that help us clear up a little bit of what we're looking at here.
Hold on once. So like official signs, no new signs allowed, like a directional signage, official signs, notices, sale or lease signs, and on-property signs is what I was given.
I think this is.
But those are all off premises, correct?
I guess based on this, I would like to, I think we understand quite a bit about this, but I would like to review with our attorney and our
Yeah.
code enforcement officer and bring this back to a subsequent meeting to understand it better.
I think we're still within your time frame.
Yes.
Folks, if that's okay, you know, that, because it's going a little bit into April, I think we can, you know, manage this and get the information that we need.
Sure, that's not an issue. Yeah, I sat in a meeting last night in the town of DeWitt, and they had a very similar question, and they realized they too didn't have any billboards signage of that nature in their area either. So
Okay,
I'm currently looking at, so this is to your point of the Department of Transportation. And I'm just going to respond to everybody in an email, but the DOT, this is off of the DOT.New York site, and it defines what an off-premise sign is. And it is all signs within 660 feet of the edge of the right-of-way, which are visible from interstate or primary highways, are subject to the sign program. So that's a lot of space.
that's like our village.
That's our whole village.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the golf, local
Yeah.
golf tournament signs, breast
Bills.
cancer awareness, like.
Yeah.
it's-
Bill
it would
signs,
prohibit
yes.
Those kinds of community
Very true.
signs, the way that it's written right now. So I think we need to take a look
Yeah.
at this and bring it back to the board.
Yeah, did y'all hear that? That we do need to get a little bit more information, revisit it, because we hang banners promoting events in our community. And that's an
well,
important.
temporary signage, I was told by the New York State Department of Transportation, temporary signage is okay. It's the permit
Oh.
signs that are the issue.
But a
It
permanent,
doesn't say permanent there, though.
yeah.
Yeah,
And even a permanent sign might be somebody redoing the signage along one of our brick buildings that are right through Main Street. So
and so that's signage on our buildings?
Well, it says off-premise signage, so I guess.
Yeah,
we might
I'm
exempt the
saying
sign- the
that's
on-premise
right.
signage, but it does not say permanent, it doesn't clarify what the signage is, so we might be able to rely on the NYSDOT. Verbiage, which seems pretty broad, but I think our attorney and CEO have to weigh in.
Yeah, I think that's where we all are. So I'm thinking that the action item will be, we'll table this for now. take it back to our code enforcement officer and our attorney, just, maybe we'll be reaching out to you for some additional, sort of offline clarification and, information. And then we'll bring it back to the board. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Thank you so much for the time tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for zooming in. We appreciate that.
No problem. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, next up.
I have a comment.
Oh. Yep,
Robert Corby, 7 Washington Avenue. Since you're writing a resolution and the village of Pittsburgh has quite a history on the Underground Railroad, I would recommend that you expand your resolution to talk about Judge Ashley Sampson, Samuel Crump, and John Brown, who are pretty well documented station masters who live here in the village. And I can provide more information if you'd like it about the history and their role on the Underground.
great, thank you so much. Okay, next up, the special permit application at 3 Shane Place, Carmela's Wine Bar. And Jeff's online?
Yep, Jefferson's on.
Okay. Oh, come on,
Bring a
pull
chair.
chair, pull chair up, yeah.
Oh,
Hello,
thank you for having me.
thanks for coming in. So, the board has the application in front of them. Do you want to just give a little brief overview, just so the public can hear?
If that's okay.
That'd be great.
All right. Good evening, esteemed members of the board. My name is Joseph Lappy, and I'm thrilled to present to you Carmela's, an inviting wine bar and restaurant that aims to become a cherished gathering place in the heart of Pittsburgh, New York. With over 15 years of experience in the industry, and recently acting as the corporate wine and beverage director for the world-renowned Lotus Entertainment Enterprises, I'm very passionate about creating a wonderful food and beverage experience for everyone, as well as bring back the magic that once held the hearts of Shane Place. At Carmela's, we aim to craft a warm and welcoming atmosphere full of wine enthusiasts, casual drinkers, and foodies. Our thoughtfully curated selections will be fit to suit every palate and budget, for exceptional value options to rare, hard-to-find vintages. Alongside our unique wine and food offerings, we'll present a cocktail program that focuses on classic favorites, ensuring that there's something for everyone. But Carmela's is more than just a wine bar. It's a community hub. We'll host guided sommelier experiences and tasting classes to expand our guest knowledge and appreciation of wine. From dinners to educational events, we're dedicated to fostering a community of wine and food lovers where they can share their passion. With your support, we believe Carmela's will flourish as a beloved destination, uniting people through the joy of wine in a cozy, elegant setting. Now, a few quick answers that may save you some questions. How will Carmela's benefit the community? Carmela's will benefit the local community by creating jobs, entertainment, and tax dollars. It will do its best to source local ingredients and offer a welcoming atmosphere for gatherings, thus enhancing the local economy and social fabric. How will traffic and parking be managed? We'll provide adequate parking, allowing use for any and all guests that are visiting Shane Place, not just Carmela's. This will also ensure that traffic is managed effectively and does not disrupt the neighborhood with quick and easier to find parking. What measures will be taken to minimize noise and disturbances? Like the business that maintained the space in the past, music will be kept at a decibel that does not leave the interior of the space itself. And we will implement soundproofing measures such as acoustic foam to help capture the sound within the space, as well as establish respectful dining hours to minimize the noise, ensuring that our operations do not disturb the surrounding community. How will Carmela's be environmentally responsible and handle trash refuse? Well, Carmela's will adopt eco-friendly practices such as reducing waste, composting, and recycling, sustaining sourcing from our menu items, and implementing energy-efficient appliances to minimize our environmental impact. Trash handled the same way as the wine bar prior, with small receptacles that would be out of sight in accordance with village mandate. Now, by addressing these questions and emphasizing our commitment to community and quality, we hope to gain your support for Carmela's as a valuable addition to the village of Pittsburgh. Thank you.
Thank you. You've been very thorough.
I was gonna say that was an extremely thorough presentation. Excellent.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
I guess from looking at the application, it seems this is replacing a use that was essentially similar. And I understand, was that the previous use also approved under a special use permit?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Sounds great to me. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
I have a question. Is the use different because you are doing more of a restaurant menu? Because I don't remember if the Grisole ever had a substantial food menu or not.
I believe so. I believe that the prior business was closed for a certain amount of time, reestablishing it for the use permit.
They serve
Providing food.
charcuterie, they serve food and
Right.
dessert.
I was not here at the time of that
Yeah.
establishment.
So
I'm
your,
not sure.
your food service is going to be more charcuterie, more like appetizer
It
stuff?
will, it'll be similar in the charcuterie, but it'll have a little bit more of a small bite menu from what I'm told by others in the community. All fan favorites, but a slight bigger portion, but nothing full kitchens.
I believe the menu's included in.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Like
saw
that.
I saw it and it
Oh.
just,
So,
yeah, it just looked more substantial than I remember.
They do. But all small, efficient,
mhm,
Looks nice.
mhm.
So I want to say thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
I'm very excited about you entering and joining our community. I think that residents are going to be very excited about you having a space for us to bring back our kind of wine bar philosophy and entertainment
And-
complex.
Yeah,
From your information, it looks as if you're taking over the other part where the wine store used to be as well.
again, not familiar how they had it broken up.
Yeah, it was
because I
two
wasn't here.
separate
are you
spaces.
taking both sides?
Yes, taking both sides, again, to capture just a lot more of the
Mm-hmm.
community, bigger space, more people in the seats,
Lovely.
and
Okay.
a little more
Thank you.
visual atmosphere. what we're
And
saying.
I think that's reflected
Okay,
also in
thank
the.
Yeah, the
packet.
floor plan.
Yeah, you-
And
you
I
have
brought
the
an extra
floor
case.
Yep.
You referenced 4 to 9 as your hours of operation. Is that enough? Do you want, because we can essentially widen it in case there's special opportunities during a festival where you might want to operate in the early afternoon or possibly a day or two where you're extending later than that. And what's that flexibility that would be better than just the 4 to 9, if at all?
No, absolutely. I would love extended hours. Again, didn't want to step on the village toes as far as noise and, complaints and whatnot. So wanted to touch on that maybe a little later and come back and get that approved. But
You
yes.
can always amend it,
Oh, amazing.
you
Yes,
know,
of course.
you
And
can come
again,
back to amend it, yeah.
for me, I would love to be open, from what I've heard from the community, there's not places open too late. So just get to that 10:30, even 11 if that's pushing it, but just want to be respectful of the village.
Well, in other words, a lot of businesses, maybe, they put down their hours from, I don't know, 6 till midnight or something, and then they may just open, at 7 to 10, but you have that range. And you don't have to be open the whole time. It's up to you. In other words, that's, I think, Dave, what you were getting
Oh,
at.
I think I would rather come in with like an 11 to 11 or 11 to 10.
Absolutely.
And
We'll
then
give
just
you
have it be
flexibility.
established now versus later.
So that
There's no
guys
reason
can
for you to have to come. back.
I would love that approval. The goal was to be open for lunch Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Mhm.
down the line, once we got open, considering what great walkability you guys have
Yeah.
on the canal here. But again, just wanted to, get the operation going. I didn't know if that would.
Well, you have I guess what we're saying is you have an opportunity now. You have an application
love to
before the
do that.
board and you're already anticipating your expansion of your hours. And so this could be an opportunity if you were to want to avail yourself of that.
Excuse me, I misunderstood. I would love to extend the hours from 11 to 11, if possible. You are very friendly.
Just trying to.
Excuse me, my misunderstanding. But yes, I would love to.
So
Yes.
what are your thoughts that
What
you
would
would
you
like
like?
to?
I think 11:30 to 11 PM, 11:30 AM to 11 PM, just it allows enough time in the morning to get checklists on the day-to-day so the business can operate as max. Ultimately, I know you said 11, but get deliveries in and whatnot, so.
I don't have any problem with those times. Do we happen to have any record of what Pia Hirasol was approved for?
I think it was in your application, the previous hours were listed. Oh, they were.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, because that's,
From 9
that's a little-
PM, something 10 PM.
if that's a little broader, I would just go with that because nobody had a problem with their.
Well, in the end,
Previous.
with the liquor
Well-
license, the way it'll work, right? Your last serve is an hour after your last meal.
Yep.
So whenever you close the kitchen, it's an hour later.
Yeah.
And so if you're potentially willing to close the kitchen at 10 and then close by 11, I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
seems like a reasonable late night.
Absolutely, I agree. And I would love to go.
Okay, so you're saying 11:30 AM to 11 PM, just so we're all
Okay.
clear on that. Yes, Dorothea.
Real quick, is this Monday through Sunday?
This will be Monday through Saturday, closed on Sunday.
Okay.
Small kids, I would love to see.
Oh, the family.
Oh, I forgot about
And he
that.
has
Should
one
there-
coming in soon.
Should there be a special event in town on a Sunday and you'd like to be open?
Yeah,
I
that's
think, for
true.
example, we're gonna have the
Bicentennial.
yes, the bicentennial is on a Sunday, so the nice canal boats are coming through on a Sunday.
Bring your kids.
Again, it would give you
David, if you're
flexibility.
looking for another job, I'm hired.
Yeah.
You're off.
So-
quite a bit.
if it's up to me, which it's not, but if you have the idea of Monday through Sunday,
Then you can,
then you can choose.
it's flexible.
Monday through Sunday.
Monday through
Yeah.
Sunday.
Some fun plans again, once we.
What else can we add to the menu? What do we
Yeah,
got?
that's right.
I know.
You do beef on Wick.
That's a joke. That's. I know. Oh, my goodness.
Well, if I may, on that question, so is the building inspector, this is kind of an inside joke on the board here.
No,
right?
actually.
I can
Yeah,
tell you.
it's a.
Is the code enforcement officer okay with the current menu to
Yeah.
qualify as a restaurant?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He's
We had another
sitting, he's
case.
in the
All
audience.
right. Oh, Steve, hey. All
Hi,
right.
Steve.
Can I ask you directly? All
You
right.
did.
Yeah, that's fine. We had another case where we had to open up the menu a little bit to make it qualified as a restaurant,
Right.
but I guess we're okay with this
Yeah,
one,
we're
so
okay. Good.
you don't have to serve beef on whack.
My last question, comment was parking. Steve, this is maybe more a comment to you. With regards to parking, this says a 79 occupancy. Yeah, I love the space design. It's nice to see people, if they have to park away from Shane Place to fill Shane Place up. I think that's okay with me. It gets them walking throughout the rest of the community. So I just wanted to check, Jeff, with our current existing code, to what degree do we need to worry about parking here?
Was, Steve, are you asking
Oh,
Steve?
Steve, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
you
Jeff.
said Jeff,
Okay, yeah, I'm
so-
waiting for Jeff.
It was never an issue before being a sold. I don't see why it would be an issue now. For the same, I mean, both establishments were full at one point and they function. They have a parking lot, but also people have the option to park down the ways and walk.
And as well, the owner of the building owns Robert's Kitchens as well, and that parking lot is empty, especially after 5 p.m.
Right.
also,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, and you can
Depending
park
on-
down below, which is also part of the parking for that place.
So does your lease, I don't know if it matters or not, but does it include the parking across the way?
It does a partial part of the unit. I believe that the village owns part of it as well, but we have
Now
had a
corporation.
discussion about sharing the lot for the community, and I believe I mentioned that as well, because,
Great.
I mean, what business owner wants to shoo people away?
Yeah, right.
It looks terrible, so,
Perfect.
yes,
Okay.
come one, come all, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anybody online?
We have people online, but no comments.
Okay. Any other comments questions from the public? Yeah,
Robert Corby, 7 Washington Avenue. Speaking on behalf of my parents who live at 44 West Main Street, we support this proposal. And I just, I appreciate the environmental criteria in the special use permit section of our code. And this building is somewhat unique because of the grade change between the old railroad bed behind and Shane Place. And so this building is designed so the openings, the windows, and all the uses face the canal and not towards the house where my parents live. So the former wine bar was a great neighbor, and we assume this one will be too. So I wanted to express the support of the family.
thank you. And I saw another hand back. Yes.
Sure, Gabriel Diaz, 81 South Street. So I think it's a good time to bring up the Tavern Overlay District. The Tavern Overlay District, if it were in place, so right now, as it stands, I believe it ends arbitrarily between Lot 32's patio and the front door to this wine bar, this future possible wine bar. And I don't understand why it ends so arbitrarily at that point. If it were to have extended to include this wine bar, this place that used to be a wine bar, being sold, it would make this potential business owner is like much easier. And I just wonder if the board would be willing to say something about why the Tavern Overlay District ends where it does and what potentially we might do to extend it, not just in that direction, but also Northfield Commons, right? There's now gonna be a vacancy there where Cop Relief was unsuccessful, they had to close down. And we want to attract the best businesses. And the best way to do that is to make the permitting easy for them. And one way to do that is to extend the Tavern Overlay District in a way that makes common sense for the potential businesses we're trying to attract. I don't understand why it doesn't extend further in both directions along Shone Place. Wonder if the board would be willing to speak to that and be willing to speak to their intention to revisit this and potentially expand it. Maybe say your opinion on whether you feel we should explore expanding it.
No, thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, another comment.
Yeah, John Woodnight, 62 State Street. Contrary to Mr. Diaz's opinion, Northfield Commons is one street address, and the Tavern Overlay District was written that it would never abut residential. And it abuts residential in many locations. So, and if you look at the two places that are down there, Olives and Label 7, both of those institutions got site plans that were very specific to those operations. Copperleaf Brewing was not a bar or a restaurant. It was deemed to be a processor of agricultural materials. Thank you.
Yep, thank you for that. Yep. Any other company, 1 second here, you've spoken, so thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Okay, and then last comment, and then we're gonna bring it back to the board. Yes, Bob. Mhm.
I just want to speak to the process that the Tavern Overlay District boundaries were determined. In the long time frame that the planning board and the trustees worked on the comprehensive plan and the resulting zoning, there was an attempt made to balance all of the competing different uses and interests in the village. And one of the things that makes Pittsford Village unique is that we don't have the core of the village hollowed out around the village of the business district with parking lots and other semi-occupied uses. We have neighborhoods that abut commercial. And so part of the charm, the character, and the benefit of our high quality of life is having walkable neighborhoods that are that's what makes our village walkable and desirable and historic. And so there was an attempt in determining where those boundaries fell to consider the impact on places like State Street, where there's about 10 homes that abut the commercial district to protect those residential neighborhoods.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your input on that. Also, what has come to our attention from a resident that there was, we have two candidates that are running for election, and they put out a notice of coming to the new Carmela's Wine Bar. And this was presupposing potentially or predetermining an outcome of what this application would be before the board. I'm a little surprised that they didn't disclose it. I wish that they had. And with our attorney online, I just would like to have our attorney weigh in about how we move forward with that. Is Jeff muted?
He is muted.
Can he unmute or be unmuted?
I'm unmuted.
Hi, Jeff. Happy
Hello.
birthday.
Okay. I'm not really sure of the facts. What are the facts?
There was a posting evidently on Facebook that a couple of weeks ago for the campaign to hold an event at the new Carmela's Wine Bar. Space. No, well, it says new here. I actually have the posting. The new Carmela's Wine Bar. So
Come through the space.
yeah, okay, okay. So this was sent in by a neighbor because they were concerned that there was an ethical question about promoting a wine bar when there hasn't, now you're here to, with an application. So I think just in the interest of transparency, before the public, that we would want to have, have this just brought out in the open and have our attorney weigh in on that.
Well, if it presupposes an outcome that has not yet occurred, then it has the appearance of perhaps prejudging the application.
And so what would the action be?
Well, recusal.
And that would occur after the public hearing. At that meeting, public hearing.
Probably prior to the public hearing.
So what you're saying is both myself and Lily would have to recuse ourselves from this vote.
If in fact the ad says at the new wine bar.
The new Carmela's Wine Bar, 3 Shane Place.
So did you read?
I'm gonna read the whole
Yeah.
thing to everybody, yep, just so everybody hears it. The new Carmela's Wine Bar, preview the space, hot chocolate, formerly Via Girasole, 3 Shane Place, Saturday, March 15th, 2 to 4.
So after that information came to Steve Steve called me and said that that was not appropriate. So we then took off the New Camillus Wine Bar in our posters and said that the space will be available for viewing for a potential new business in the future. It was a mistake. I don't know if that's, I mean, it was a mistake. It was fixed quickly. That's all I can tell you.
No, and great, but nonetheless, the action was taken and you're an elected official and it's predetermining an outcome. When now we're so glad that we have the application before us and we want to set our hearing and do all of that.
So
So
what would be the reason you're bringing this up? That a
A-
trustee acted?
a neighbor, a resident sent this in and made a comment saying, how would they know what the outcome is going to be of an
Well,
application?
you don't talk to people.
I'm still going to finish my sentence,
You don't
please.
talk to
Mayor
people
speaking,
about it?
point of order, please. This came from a resident. This was posted on Facebook several weeks ago. And they were bringing to question whether or not two elected officials have predetermined an outcome on an application that just came before us this evening. I think it's fair that the public hears this and that our attorney weighs in. It's nothing more than that. For any elected
Okay, that's
official, for any elected official.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jeff,
Yep,
Hey, Jeff.
hello,
yeah,
I'm
hey,
here.
yeah, I was just gonna ask a question. So I've asked this in the past with regards to recusal type situations. If the action that took place does not rise to the occasion of changing how one perceives the application or the effect on it thereof, people do not need to recuse. They can still vote, so long as doesn't change how they perceive the action. Is that correct? Like they could recuse, but for a mistake of that and an immediate adjustment, it doesn't seem to rise to the occasion of the necessity to recuse. Would you agree? Or is it up to each person to judge that on themselves?
Can I just weigh in before?
Can I
I'm
please hear
I'm sorry.
Jeff's
Yep,
comment? I'm sorry.
okay. And then I'd like to weigh in on
Sure.
that.
I think if that were the case, then there would be should be some kind of full statement on the record as to why and if or not the application was prejudged.
So we have both trustees who had incorrectly placed this on a advertisement were to say something to the effect of, we made a mistake, it was not prejudging an application, we immediately removed it, and then decided to vote, they wouldn't have to recuse.
It would be better had they not done the first thing,
Yes,
but probably the second thing does make it okay.
Yeah, I guess that's why, at the beginning of every meeting, we have the conflict of interest and disclosure.
And I made the decision that it was not a conflict of
Excuse me
interest.
1 second.
That's my decision. It's
Excuse
not
me
a
one,
conflict of
excuse me 1
interest.
second, I'm speaking, and I'd like to finish my sentence. We have the conflict of interest disclosure, just so it's transparent. That's why I just said, I said hello, I met with the applicant, welcomed him into the community, and made absolutely no comment as to whether it was good, bad, or indifferent with whatever application was being put before the board. I just chose to disclose it, just so everybody knows. Hi, I met you. I would have thought, especially since you acknowledged that it was a mistake, that you would have just simply disclosed that in fact it was put out on social media, you recognized the mistake. It didn't happen. And so this is, again, just about how we move forward and what is appropriate. There was a question in the audience, yeah.
Mayor, hold on a minute. I would like to
Excuse me.
speak because that's still at the board. Mayor, as a
Okay,
leader, as a
one
leader of the
moment.
board, maybe you should have reached out to me as a board member and said, Lisa, I think you're gonna have to really disclose or.
Why wouldn't you know that you're an elected official?
Mayor,
Why wouldn't you know
there's
that?
lots of things that elected officials don't know. And let me just tell you something. There is. I mean, you think everybody knows everything? No. Does everybody know everything out there? No. I'm saying.
So now it's on
Mayor,
me. So
no,
now
no,
this is
Mayor,
my
Mayor,
fault.
what would you like me to do?
that-
Would you like me to recuse? Because that's easy. I'll recuse. and you guys
I'm
can all
just
three
saying,
vote.
it would have been handled if you had simply disclosed this as we do this before every single meeting.
Mayor,
This is fundamental.
It was a
This is
mistake.
everything we learn at night.
there's no non-transparency
Oh,
here.
my
It was a
goodness.
mistake, and
Okay.
if you would like me to, not.
This isn't what I would like.
No, it
This
is what you
about-
would like.
Oh
If you
my
would like me
goodness.
to not participate in the vote, that's fine. I
Oh, my
won't.
goodness,
I
my
won't.
goodness.
Just
Yeah,
tell me what you would like.
that's a good
What is your
Oh,
purpose
my
for
God,
this?
just 1 second.
What is your
The
purpose?
purpose is that this was a resident who sent this in.
Oh,
and
gosh. Do
asked
you want me
this
to start
question.
going about what residents are sending in? Well, let's not even go there.
This
So
is
what I'm
about-
saying is, what would
Wow.
you like me to do? I'm gonna recuse myself if that's what you feel is appropriate. I've already disclosed it was a mistake. I don't think it was that big of a deal. It was a mistake, okay? So I just don't know what you want me to do about this. I mean, we're gonna hold up this
I want you to make a
business,
choice that is in the best interest of transparency to the public because you're an elected official.
and I just did.
Yes, okay,
just
thank
did.
you.
I would just
Justin.
like to ask a
Wow.
question to clarify, trying to move this application forward. I haven't heard any significant objections to the application itself. As far as moving this to a vote, it seems like what's on the table tonight is not whether or not we approve this, but whether or not we just move it ahead to a
We have
public
to send a
hearing.
public
Correct.
hearing.
The public hearing would be on what date?
Yeah, give us a
I mean-
date.
March 25th at 6 PM.
Okay, is that before or after the event that was discussed on social media?
After.
So what you're saying is that there is that there is a business that was mentioned which cannot legally exist until after the event would take place, right? So-
Understood. That's the parsing of it. Yeah, and I understand that. And of
So I'm
course,
not sure how there could
of
be.
course, we're gonna have the
use
vote
for
tonight to
attorney.
move it to public hearing or not.
But this is for our attorney as an additional piece
Mhm.
of information. The event that we're talking about would not be impacted in any way by the vote tonight because it's going to take place before the decision on this matter.
I think, Jeff, I believe, are you asking this of our attorney?
Yeah,
Okay, I think he's thinking.
You realize it was a question, I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah. So Jeff, I mean, the event that we're talking about, we're asking if this is an ethical issue that would where it would be wise for the elected officials to recuse themselves. And that would seem to depend on whether or not the issue being discussed would be impacted by the social media post. It seems like it would not in one way or another because the vote doesn't take place until after this event.
we are talking
In the
about,
approval, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I think that if a recusal is appropriate, and I say if, a recusal is appropriate, then it goes to all segments of the application. If, it was a mistake, and it's disclosed on the record that there was no prejudging, there were no discussions with the applicant about the approvals and how that trustee felt about the approvals, then I don't think recusal is necessary.
nonetheless, if they recused, we have a quorum to move it forward or not, nonetheless. I mean, that's another, yes, Lily, and then I know there was a hand up or something there, yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Given what we've heard here, my intention is that for this evening, so that there is no appearance of impropriety, that I would recuse myself from the vote to move it to public hearing. And that is my statement.
Thank you for your statement. There was a hand up, yes.
Oh,
Name and address, please, thank you.
I just wanted to say, I know, Lisa said that it's taken down, it's actually still on Facebook with the name of the Carmela's Wine Bar. And it's actually on a couple of pages and has been shared, and people are excited to see the new wine is what the top. So I just wanted to say, I know you had said it was taken down on the posting that has changed, but it's actually still up.
Okay,
The,
all right, yeah, Dave, yeah.
do you, the game Plinko?
Yeah.
Did you remember?
Price is Right.
Yeah, have you ever played the game Gotcha?
No.
No. No. Could be one to consider.
So in the efforts of moving this forward, I will recuse myself as well. That's fine with me.
Yeah, we have.
Should I say
No,
anything?
we're good.
Again, I don't say it, I don't know
No,
everything.
Your application's before us. This is about actions that elected officials have taken. There was another hand up in the room.
Yeah, so.
Name and address, please.
Gabriel Diaz, 81 South Street. I just wanted to say something to the business owner, the applicant, that, sorry,
Just as
Yeah.
a point of
usually
order.
not this.
It's a point of order.
Hang on. No, you address the board, please.
Board, I would like to point to the board and say, usually things go a lot more smoothly than this. This is disappointing, welcome. We welcome businesses to our village. I don't know, there should be a nice positive note at the end of this, don't you think?
We're hoping for that.
Yeah. Now, on that note, I'll end it there. That's a good note. That's a good.
Thanks,
Let's move
Dave.
on.
Okay, thank you.
All
All right, we're
so-
bringing it back to the board. We have 2 recusals, and is there a motion? And what was the date?
March 25th at 6 P.M.
I'll make a motion that we move the application for the wine bar to public hearing on March 25th, was it, at 6 P.m.?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the regular
You're still
process.
Yeah.
Thank
So if you
You're moving
flash
along.
back- Flash back 15 minutes and in there and then go. to
Yeah.
The rest is like.
Okay, do we have a second, please? Did you second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Lightgev,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
hi.
motion passes.
Okay, we're gonna see you for the hearing on March 25th. We're moving it forward. Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
We're
Thank you.
sorry about that.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
all right. Next up, Friends of the Arboretum, the signage proposal.
Good evening, Jim Ware, from the Arboretum, 11 East Circle, in the village, and Bob Corby, 7 Washington Avenue. All right, very good. Tonight, we're presenting Friends of the Arboretum's request for funding for permanent signage to be located at the 3 Arboretum Trail entrances. The Arboretum was designated as the village's largest park 4.5 years ago. Over the past 4 years, Friends of the Arboretum volunteers have assisted the village in the maintenance of the native plantings, trail construction, research, invasive species removal, and coordination of projects executed collaboratively with community groups. Our work has followed a list of priorities informed by research, consultation with experts, in deference to the village's financial constraints. Due in large part to our efforts, the public awareness and use of the Arboretum has greatly increased. The installation of permanent signs will improve the public awareness of this unique resource, as well as further the Arboretum's educational mission. Each of you should have received a copy of the proposal for the sign design that was supported by the Pittsburgh Village Board 1 year ago on February the 27th. You also have a copy of the January 24th proposal from Signage that provides the cost for the signs. This information was sent to the village clerk with our request to be included on this agenda tonight. In June of 2023, the process of selecting the Arboretum's permanent signage design was initiated by Friends of the Arboretum Co-Vice President June Reeves, sending Max Norman, Sign Language Chief Design Engineer, pictures of the Pittsburgh Town Park sign and our temporary Arboretum signs. Max and Friends of the Arboretum then discussed options for sign materials to include design, color, height, width, durability for possible vandalism and possible woodpecker damage. Considering these factors, Max provided the proposed design that we present once again this evening. The Friends of the Arboretum Board agreed to this design with high-density urethane, HDU construction. In January of 24, Max was to then provide us with a proposal that you have for the construction and installation of such signs with associated costs. Last month, June request, Max provide current cost estimates, and Max replied in that the January 24 proposal that you have remains valid, including the 10% discount applied for the HDU V-Carb signs, and this discount would still apply if we bought more signs. Sign language will honor the same prices for the other two options, but cannot discount them as those materials have risen in cost. 3 entry signs will be needed at this time for the current trails, they being Meadow, Hillside, and Wetland. The Friends of the Arboretum are requesting that the village board approve funding in the amount of $4,900 for 3 HDU signs at this time, and in order to obtain that 10% discount or take advantage of it. And we are recommending that versus the itemization that you've seen there, that we would do 2 signs that are 2-sided and 1 sign that would be a one-sided sign. So again, the original sign proposal remains a year later. You've already approved this. And in terms of the kind of that final cost on, I don't know if you have that original quotation. If you run down and label kind of to the far left-hand side, A, B, C, D, and E, those are the items we're going to change that quantity. And so you get 3 actual signs, as we've stated, 2 of them double-sided, 1 single-sided. The installation cost for the first sign of $450, the 2 subsequent signs at $350 each. The other items we're not recommending at this time, and that's how we come back to the $4,900. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, Lily.
It is not directed to the clerk. Could you clarify? Money was, I know was donated at one point specifically for signage. Can you tell us what that amount is?
No,
You can't, okay.
no, it's
Do you
no
have it?
amount. I think it was under $500.
Okay.
The money is still.
Yeah,
I just
in
wondered what it
play.
was.
My question though is, can we get a clearer quote? This is
Yeah.
very confusing.
Well, yes, we
Because
would.
I looked at it and just to finish, there is no final total, but what it looks like is 3,500. So it's kind of confusing the way this is laid
Yeah,
out.
we'll get it restated, so you have something, I don't know. if you-
Yeah, because it should give a grand
Purchase
total of
order.
exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was $3,565.
Yeah, I,
Did you, you know,
I think if we could for 2 weeks from now, just come right back, looks great. But have the invoice be accurate to what you're recommending. And the signs look very nice. I think it's a reasonable cost. It's gotta get done, so.
yeah, the nice signs are nice.
We'll include a layout that shows the.
Great.
kind of
location.
Exact location, which I
Yes,
think
and
also.
and Steve, yeah, his hands up, and he also was wanted to see that, yeah.
Does this have to go in front of preservation?
It's signage. It's signage.
It should be before approved, it should go through preservation.
Well, I believe that what we've done in the past.
You waived it, didn't you?
We can waive it, we can do the 9 points.
Let's put on the agenda for the next meeting too, that we would do the balancing test to see if we would subject
Yeah,
ourselves to our zoning.
and we'll let the HPB know anyway, but we'll be doing the balancing test.
Didn't
Just
we do that to cover the whole arboretum, or do we do it on a case by case?
Good question. It might have been for the, you know what, let's take a look at exactly what was
Yeah.
approved with the balancing test.
I think we did it twice in relation to
Yes,
the Arboretum.
I'm pretty sure too.
But
Let's
I
go
can-
through the records.
Yeah.
Let's circle back. That'll be an action item, please. Just so the public understands the balancing test that municipalities use, it is a series of sort of points, questions to be answered by a municipality, essentially to waive what would be, you know, zoning requirements or other requirements in the community, because it's in the public interest. It's for the public good. So the town has done this, we've done this. So just so you understand what the balancing test is, it isn't actually us balancing on a board. Yeah.
Also, since
But
we
the-
have
yeah,
the
go ahead.
attention, RG&E has continued to do more cutting along the power line right of way there. And this is a great opportunity for us because they've actually inadvertently removed a lot of the lantus trees that were sprouting up there. And I appeared at your last meeting to, if you would request that they remove that brush. And we're actually going to research, I've got someone that's gonna do a site visit with me to figure out the best maintenance strategy to maintain that corridor so it doesn't grow up into invasive ailanthus trees, but something that would be maintainable and hopefully would be something like a pollinator corridor.
Okay, great. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank
Thanks for
you.
that. Yep.
Thanks for your time today.
If I
Yeah.
could just add one more
Thanks again.
small item for our clerk, if Dorothy, you could clarify the exact amount we have donated for the sign for the next meeting, that would be great too.
I will do that. I just want to remind the board, in the current budget, this is not a budgeted item, but it is, we did anticipate in our next budget 3,500, which would go
So
a long
there's-
way with the donation.
something.
So if the board is considering this, I would ask you to, unless you want to do a budget amendment, to move it to next year's budget.
Because it's, the funds are already there.
Yeah,
For the
it would
most
be
part.
easier to obtain
Okay.
in budget.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that just leaves more money from this year to put into reserves if we want to,
Right.
or to spend.
Sure, sure. Yeah, we'll go with it.
Loving those reserves.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Loving it.
Okay.
Okay. It closes that out. Next up, it's after 6 o'clock. We have a public hearing for the tax cap override. Would the treasurer like to just talk about that and what this means during our budget cycle?
This has been a standard practice. It's one of the first laws we usually do of the year, given the state's requirement of the tax cap, which can be limiting. But the question, it's always been a standard practice as a protective measure, because even if the board didn't raise taxes and inadvertently when we went over that tax cap, it sets off a trigger of events that
From the controller?
from the comptroller where we don't want to go. I
Mhm.
just want to say, we don't want to go there because it's setting up a reserve. It's doing a lot of things that we can avoid by just simply overriding the tax cap.
Whether we exceed it or not, I mean, and
Absolutely.
And the New York Commission of Mayors, financial, people have always recommended to all the villages, because they're all so small, the smaller budgets, just as a matter of course to do this, whether or not it's exceeded, just as a standard practice. So this has been done pretty much every year.
Yep, and the
Yeah.
board requested, when I put this on the agenda, I think it was 2 meetings ago, that we have the public hearing now. We've reviewed the budget. I think everybody is aware where we stand. So I would suggest that we move this forward and get it completed.
Dorothea, just historically, have you, since you've been village clerk, have we ever not?
No,
Okay, over it. Okay, that's what I thought. All right.
it was done standard practice before I came.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now that it's on the public hearing for tonight, we can close the public hearing, open and close it. We don't have to adopt this until right before the budget's adopted, correct?
You can do that. Here's my concern as treasurer, okay? I know your budget
Mhm.
and you're overriding
We're gonna
it.
be over.
Yeah.
So you
It's
need
a
to
matter
take
of
a
course.
step.
Yeah.
I can't comfortably introduce a legal notice to the public with a budget that's going over the tax cap
Mhm.
with not knowing this is gonna be passed.
That it's more definitive.
Yeah, it's not a
I
good
mean,
practice.
To me, it's not a fair statement.
Mhm.
You're gonna do it.
Yeah.
If you want to pass the budget that's been presented and reviewed, you need to do this no matter what. So you're just delaying it for what purpose?
Yeah. I was
Because
gonna
if
ask you
you don't,
reservation. What would be the reason?
if you don't do it, then the budget I presented is in error and it has to be revamped completely.
It's the override, right? But nobody's seen the final budget. We've had a lot of public budget meetings and we know, I think, sitting here that we're gonna go over 2%.
Mhm.
But we haven't put the final budget out for the public, so you kind of like, do we do this now even though we haven't seen it? And I think the answer is probably yes, and just get it done, but I always hate doing it.
And it's gonna go to a public hearing, so the public is not happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the public hearing, so I guess
Right.
we just open the public hearing and then listen to comment and then close it and adopt it. Fine. I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lanfair?
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev?
Aye.
Trustee Coe?
Aye.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Mayor Plummer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, the public hearing is open on the matter of overriding the tax cap. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Is there anyone online?
No. Well, they're here.
I'm
but They don't have
wishing
their
to
hands
speak, wishing to
raised.
speak. I
Nobody's
know.
itching to.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Motion closed, public hearing.
Second.
We're moving along.
Trustee Coe,
Hi.
trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Lickett.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Hi, okay, the matter is back before the board. Is there further discussion? Yeah, Justin?
Having been heavily influenced by all the public input here, just wanted to, no, seriously though, in past years, I've had some hesitations about doing this as well, because it gives us a license to raise the taxes, more than the limit set by the state otherwise. And I've had concerns about that, especially a few years ago, before we had more structure in terms of the multi-year capital plan. And I think that with the ability to predict where we're going to be spending money year over year with multi-year capital plan, at this point, I don't have concerns about moving forward with this.
Okay, thank you for that. Anybody else have any other thoughts?
I guess my only thought to connect it to the moment of passing it is, 2%, we've had a lot of inflation, we've had no reassessments, and costs go up to the village. We're doing roads, big projects on South and Wood, Sutherland. We've got a lot of equipment and infrastructure to invest in, so costs have gone up. I think it's reasonable to go over the 2%, and we'll have to revisit it when the assessments come in. And how that may be, but that's years, possibly more than a year plus from now, so.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion? Anybody?
Make a motion
Abstain? Yes,
to,
Dave.
gosh, I hate being the one to put this motion.
You're on a roll, I know.
I'll make a motion to adopt the tax cap override as presented.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. May we have the roll call?
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Hi.
Trustee Lickett.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall. Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. And thanks so much for your input.
It's a good time to say, I appreciate all the work internally, the administration, Dorothea, Zach, and working to bring the budget forward. We'll take a look at that in a few weeks.
A lot of moving parts. So with that being said, I know our attorney is still online, and I think we're solid in terms of going forward, unless there's something else that anybody has for Jeff. We can release the birthday boy for a birthday party. We're good.
The only question I had is,
Oh, okay.
there was a large document sent to us via email. Jeff, you received that as well, is that correct?
Which document are you talking about?
South and Woodbid?
Yes.
Yeah,
South
Jeff, you've reviewed that?
I have.
Okay, were there any concerns or comments, and is that where we're going next on the
That's-
agenda?
Yeah.
Just some of the language in the agreement was, I wanted to get cleaned up.
Okay, so you're gonna work on that and get back to us? We're not
Well,
adopting.
I gave him a memo. I gave the,
Okay,
That was taken care of, I believe.
okay.
Yeah,
So do we need to take action on it tonight? I see it's still on the agenda, but do we need to talk any more on it?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Okay.
Not the attorney, but if the board would like.
yeah.
Sure.
Do we still need the attorney for this? I mean, I guess is what I'm asking, because I know it's his birthday.
Asking for a friend.
Okay,
Are we,
that's probably fine.
we're good?
Yeah,
Well, we also have your phone number, Jeff, so.
maybe
Look at,
I'm gonna drop that phone. Oh, no, I would never do that.
yeah, I
All right.
know.
Thanks a
Have a
lot,
good-
and everybody have a good night.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, Dorothea, did you want to fill in on anything here with the bid package?
For South and Wood, what we've set up is a release date of March 21st in case there's any last minute changes. Scott's reviewing in case
Mhm.
there is any issues. We don't foresee it. It's been reviewed by Jeff. Those comments were transferred to Jeff. So in case anything pops up, we gave it a little time, but I think we're good to go.
Yeah,
And we're giving it, I think it's almost 6 weeks for the bid process. So I just need authorization to go ahead and release the bid.
and release the bid so they can,
Okay, so then I guess I'll make a motion to release the bid contingent on additional input from Jeff and
the engineer
the
potentially,
engineer.
as needed.
As needed and appropriate and otherwise. So.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Co,
Aye.
trustee Lanfair,
Aye.
trustee Lightgev,
Aye.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Now to go along with this real quick, I'm just gonna jump in and say, the hope is that this project will kick off in June, as the way it is stated for the bidding. I'm going to go ahead and seek, and the board has approved the bond resolution,
Mhm.
to go ahead and work with Bernie Donigan to get the bond put
Yeah.
out in May, so we can get it awarded in June, so we have the funds to pay for the project. I always like that part. Pay for the project.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, and that has been anticipated by the board.
Yeah, and just so everybody understands, this is work that, South Street will be brought up to, contemporary codes. The sidewalks will all be brought up to current code with ADA compliance. And Wood Street, which is essentially a driveway, will actually be rebuilt as a true road with sidewalks. So there's a lot of other public safety issues there that are gonna be addressed. So we're excited about that. We're reinvesting into the community. So, next up, the DPW bathroom bid package approval. I'm very excited about this, that we're finally to this point where our DPW crew will have proper facilities with shower and laundry and good bathrooms and lockers and storage, so. Anybody have any questions on that, or,
This
it's kind of
is-
the same thing?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing, but the release date is for this Friday. We have it lined up with you're gonna be seeing another bid hopefully next meeting for the front porch. So with lining everything up with the bid openings, try to keep things on their own path. We'd like to release this on Friday. So
Mhm.
is there any questions? Scott submitted everything. It's
Yeah.
been reviewed again. This has been anticipated.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to move the DPW bathroom bid forward.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Co,
Aye.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Lightgev,
Aye.
trustee Lanfair,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. And again, I'm
All right.
jumping in. I want the board to declare this a capital project
Mhm.
because it's gonna
Yeah.
end up going past this budget year where funds have been earmarked. And I'll need to do appropriate transfers to create the capital project, so it's its own project and separated from our village budget.
Do you want a motion from us, or you just?
I want a motion.
Yeah, I think we should do that. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Well played. Okay. We have.
That's the way I
roll call.
am. Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Trustee Lanfair.
Aye.
Trustee Co.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. Anything else on that for us? We're good?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can make up stuff, but I.
Oh. Okay, so review of the LMC contract update. This is an update for the 75 Monroe Avenue project. Dorothea, do you want to speak to that? It's just simply an amendment for
Yes, this
additional
is
services.
the amendments related to the project for the contractor to review the plans as requested. This was approved by the board when the original contracts were approved for 75 Monroe, the agreement.
Could I ask for just a quick update on the village website and what you might put in our final records, the agenda for tonight that's on our first page in the calendar? That link still has the wrong contract below the DPW or the wrong bid sheet below the DPW, whereas what you sent to us in email has the correct
Oh,
one.
let's check that.
I'll double
Good
check.
catch. Thank you. Thanks
So,
for that.
whatever-
I'll
whatever
fix it.
finds its way
It will
in.
end up in our bid and RFP section,
Yeah.
both bids, so we'll make
Okay.
sure it's clean and
So if
white.
anybody was trying to follow along online, the bid below the agenda item was the one for Southwood or some comments related to that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thanks
I'll
for
fix
that.
it. Thank you.
That- I put that down as an
Correct.
action item.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. So then coming back to this one, 75 Monroe, LMC codes, this is for us, based on our conversation with PTP in the past, this is essentially us approving this contract for phase 2 and phase 3, right?
No.
No.
No,
No.
tell me more.
My understanding with, her name's Laura, right?
Laura Cooney.
Laura
Mhm.
Cooney,
She's the
is if
engineer.
there's any questions or any changes, even with the current plan, it goes through her, and she has to review it for codes and applicability. Right now, I think they were sent her the plans that came in to make sure they're consistent with the plans that were approved. So to cover the cost for that to be passed on to the applicant, she had to amend her contract a little bit since we signed off on it originally.
Okay. But we don't have the original contract nor,
There's just a few bit of changes in the bottom. It's still dated the same.
okay.
I could move it to the next meeting with it.
I just couldn't discern from what I had in front of me how it was different or what it was.
It's in the,
Yeah, it's,
And so I'm reading through it and it looks fine. And then I'm just like, why are we doing this now?
It was-
Because it was a contract. Did,
do you remember where it was in? It was in the final statement requirements.
did Dan give any comment? I didn't-
Yes, Dan's.
Okay,
said
so,
that-
but that didn't get passed around to the rest of the board, is that correct? I didn't remember seeing it in our.
No, it came up when there was an internal meeting with Dan,
Okay.
and he said just to get the board to approve it with the amendment.
Okay. Okay. is
well,
it
he had
internal?
reviewed it,
He
so,
had reviewed it.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a little loosey-goosey perhaps for me to say yes tonight, but if I could get Dan's comment to us through email.
Okay,
Be
so
like,
the-
hey, this is good,
Yeah.
whatever the adjustments
Okay.
were, they were mine, we're fine with it, because otherwise I
He
don't
sent a
want to.
memo. Maybe he did not send a memo.
Okay.
But so the action item, I think, should be that the attorney should send by memorandum to the board, the comments as you
That'd be great.
requested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Just a matter of.
Sure.
Nice to know what's different and
That's
what
fine.
we're,
Yeah,
I was following the attorney. through.
yep, it
Yep.
all works. Thank you.
okay. That's done. Wow, we're cruising along. Okay, we're almost done. Treasurer's report, please.
Sure. I'm talking way too much tonight, I'm sorry. As presented, we have the bill pay for a total of $26,411.48. There's nothing too significant in here. Everything's standard. I got
Okay.
nothing.
I'll make a motion to approve the bill pay presented.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Lampier,
Aye.
trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Lickett.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Hi.
Motion passes. Okay, I'm gonna continue on if everybody's good. I put in there the code update. This is just letting you know I codified everything that was passed by the board. This is standard practice. Usually I get board approval if it's over a certain amount. It was within my purview. So I went ahead and approved it, get it signed off so we could get the code updated. So just so that you know the status of that. Next, HSA funding. I need additional funding for one of the employees, just to finish the thing. So for Peter Bessie, if I can just have authorization to complete his HSA funding.
So moved.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Lampier.
Aye.
Trustee Lickett.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passed. IT transfer update. We started the process. They come in, they're working with Integrated. I know the board was notified. We had a little email glitch during the week. I'm hoping there's no more of those, but I can't guarantee that, of course, as we're moving along, and I'll keep you posted, but we started the process. Just so everybody's aware, the emails will be changed because we become a .gov, so we will reflect that with the emails. So we'll set up appropriate new emails when that comes and have the forwarding of your old email to new email. So all those will be taken care of.
Yeah, did everybody catch that? This is now a requirement. All municipalities have to have the ending as .gov. So we're just implementing it now because also we're hopefully within the next month, we'll be having a new website up and running as well. So everything will
Yep,
switch
that
over
will
to
tie in
.gov.
with that, and the new website will also end in .gov, so it'll be a true reflection of our status.
Mhm. Yep, town's doing it too. Yeah.
Yes. And I don't have anything.
Okay. Minutes?
Minutes. Any questions, concerns?
First up is January 21st.
Yeah, I just had two clarifications on that. The comment from Mike Newcomb, he mentioned the past administration, but we don't clarify if we're talking about the government, federal government. It turns out it was the latter, so if we could just clarify that as based on the video, based on the transcript, I would appreciate that.
Okay.
And then on the last page, which is the board consensus on the village supports business and commercial property owners. I agree with the consensus on the first four items. We also mentioned that we would explore financial support options like grants to assist property owners with historic building maintenance. I just think it would be good to talk about that because it sounds like it might border on being a gift to I mean, I don't recall the consensus on that, and I would just like to.
Well, at least we're exploring it, maybe.
Okay.
I don't, I'm looking at the language of that. I know where you're going with
Like,
that.
we can't really offer a grant of that sort, I don't think, as it might be problematic, I guess we'd have to talk to our attorney.
Yeah, we'd have to
I
talk
just
to
don't
the
wanna-
attorney about how we would facilitate that. If at all.
I'd be happy to remove it.
Okay, if you
Why don't we
want to,
take it off for now and then we should look at it though.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay,
with those changes on,
a motion as amended then?
yes, motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Second, please.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Lanfair,
Aye.
trustee Marshall, trustee Lightgev,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Aye.
motion passes.
Next up, February 11th. Any comments or amendments?
Or not anything, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 11th as presented.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Okay, trustee Lanfair,
Aye.
trustee Lightgev,
Aye.
trustee Marshall, trustee Coe,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, we're right at the end of the meeting here, so it's just member items from the board members. Does anybody have a member item? Yeah, Lily?
I do, it was brought to my attention. Once again, we've discussed it before previously. I don't know that there's a resolution for it, a way to resolve it, but I'd like to at least attempt to address it. And that is, it's spring and time for the geese to come back, and it's problematic again along the path. And there's increased heightened concern because of bird flu and the feces along the canal path has salmonella and other bacteria in it, and it's a danger, health danger. And as trustees, that is our charge. We are to be concerned with the health, safety, and welfare of our residents. And so I know there's nothing, they're protected. I understand that, but there might be some passive ways that we can discourage the geese population. As a board, I'd like to maybe put it on the agenda for a future meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, and also, yeah, for our residents and also our DPW, because our DPW does all the cleanup down there. And just for the record, if you see a dead bird, do not touch it. Call the Department of Health in Monroe County. We're gonna be sending out a bulletin on that. It hasn't quite fully hit our area. I believe it's south of here, but it is a concern, and thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, any other member items? Anybody?
I did have just a couple quick ones. And I remembered one from the minutes, which was, ER had asked us for insight or comment on their comprehensive plan, and there's some data in there that I was curious where they got it from, particularly with regards to Pittsford. And did we get any response from them at all?
I emailed your request. I received no response.
Okay.
We'll keep at it.
It's their comp plan, not ours. So the other quick one, Jeff's not on the line, but I'll throw it out. Maybe somebody heard something internally. The refuse district right now is every resident, but we had talked about those who wanted to opt out. Jeff was going to explore if there's avenues to do that within the existing framework. Have we heard anything from him in regards to that?
No.
Okay. Two other quick ones was traffic in the DOT letter. Are we basically getting past the budget season and then pick it up then? We were going to write a letter to the DOT of all the things that we wanted to have done. Was that going to be internally done, or was that going to be, through one of us? How are we planning to do that? Are we going to have a meeting dedicated, a budget workshop, not a budget workshop, a workshop for that?
Safety workshop.
You want to do a safety
Mhm.
workshop? Okay,
I think we should, and I think we should engage the public.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all heard that this is working with the New York State Department of Transportation. We call them NISTOT, the acronym. We constantly are advocating for pedestrian and bicycle safety in our village because we have major state roads coming through our village. And it's time to really kind of circle back with the public, maybe get some petitions from neighbors, just to get their attention again, so we can get some more traffic calming measures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's enough of it.
okay. Anyone else?
Oh, I guess one other thing.
I knew it. He always
Yeah,
has
no,
one more thing.
so it's quick.
One more thing.
But for everybody to know, the budget meeting with Dorothea on Thursday morning, I'm not sure, Mayor, if you're gonna participate or not, but if it's just us, that's fine. We're gonna work through some final
Yeah.
numbers and try to figure out what needs to be communicated back before it goes for the public.
Yeah, we're almost ready to go to public hearing
Yeah.
on our budget, so.
No, I'm just taking the information presented from the previous meeting, meant to make sure I captured everything the board was concerned about with the multi-year plan, as well as the budget itself.
Yeah.
And my recommendations. I'm glad you brought that up real quick. Note, I did meet with our current MPA. He was supposed to get back to me before this meeting with the actions we need to do to create the refuse district fund. So I'll probably anticipate at that meeting. I know we typically don't make motions, but this one we do because we set the public hearing for the budget. I might have you create that fund. I'm guaranteeing I'm having you create that fund at that meeting as well, because the refuse district would have a budget that needs to go again to public hearing.
And we have to pre-fund it. Is that correct?
I think the timing will be getting the taxes in, it'll fund itself.
We kind of,
It'll be
right on the edge.
It's on the edge. It'll work.
Yeah.
They're billing quarterly. We'll be.
All right.
Yeah, just so if everybody understands that because we have adopted the refuse district, it's now sort of a new department for the village. So we have to kind of create a fund for that department to be able to receive the fees for the refuse district. That's all that is, so.
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
And we'll be good to go for the March 19th meeting.
okay. I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Lampier.
Aye.
Trustee Lightfoot.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
everybody. Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody, for
everyone.
coming too.
Big crowd.